Well, the Oxford Yellow Jackets had a very tough first-round playoff matchup last Friday night on the road at Dothan. The Yellow Jackets passed the test with flying colors with a 25-19 victory to earn a berth into the second round of the playoffs. Well, they will come back home to face an undefeated and very tough McAdory team. Welcome into the Jacket Corner for this week. I'm Mickey Shaddricks, joined by head coach Ryan Herring. Coach, congratulations on the win. Huge win every time you win at this point in the season because there's no room for losses. Let's talk about the game. You got off to a good start, got a lead, went into the locker room with a lead, lost that lead in the second half, came back and won the football game.
Well, it was a perfect script. You couldn't write any better as far as scoring at the very end of the game, being on the road. Over 4 hours down there. They had a good team. They had good-looking players, both sides of the ball. They were athletic, and they were physical. I just can't say enough about our kids. I'd like to sit here and tell you all kind of stuff, but the main thing is our kids literally rose to the occasion and played their butts off, and we won a great game.
Well, when you have a trip like this in the playoffs, which is common to have to travel a good distance, you had to check out of school early, you had that long road trip. We talked last week about the pros and cons of that, but kids enjoy this. Kids enjoy getting out of school, obviously. They enjoy traveling. It's kind of a reward for a lot of the hard work they put in, but to win the game, obviously, is the main thing. But talk about the day and how all that went for you.
Well, Mr. Mitchell, one of our assistant principals, he came from down there last year, as a matter of fact. And so he knew some people in the city parks and rec, and they got us a place in there where all their rec fields are. So we had bathrooms and stuff when we got there to lounge around, stretch out. But we left at 10:30, stopped in Wetumpka, had a sandwich, then drove all the way into Dothan, got there about 3. We ate at Golden Corral. The kids love that. Then we went to this little park and rec field in Dothan, and nobody was there. We had it all to ourselves. We had places to sit. We had 2 different restrooms. We had a whole field to use for walkthroughs. So that really was helpful. Especially being 4 hours away, I didn't know anybody down there, but luckily Mr. Mitchell had came from there, had some connections, and so everything went just, smooth as could be. One of the smoothest playoff away games I've ever been involved in, and mostly because Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Cox had connections down there. But anyway, went to the stadium about 5:30 and went out there and won the game.
Well, we've got a lot of exciting highlights to show you coming up on this week's show. We'll have our player spotlight, much more coming up. Stay with us as we continue on a playoff edition of the Jacket Corner.
The Dothan Tigers, here come the Yellow. He was devastating block. Up the gut.
And let's head down to Dothan High School for highlights of the first half of the playoff game, Coach.
Well, I tell you, they started off real fast against us, and we knew that running back was good, and the line was big, but the speed of the game caught us off guard at first on this first drive, but I think the kids did a great job of getting into the speed of the game, and then I think we hold them about 3 or 4 3-and-outs in a row. But the running back was a good player. He wasn't the biggest, the fastest, but he was tough. He was really a power runner, which really probably helped us in the end, him not being a true speedster. But they go down and score, but hey, we keep calm. We take the ball right back down on them. Offensive line, I thought, and I don't know how to explain it, but I thought in some ways the offensive line blocked better than they have all year. It's like they came together, they gelled a little bit. Of course, Gamble ran the ball great. Ty did a great job of being a leader on the field. Right here, we think we're getting in zone. He puts the ball over his head. They knock it out. And they call it a fumble, and they get the ball on the 1-yard line. So Dothan dodged the bullet right there. There's KJ Adams making a great play on the counter right there. Did a great job for us, trying to get pressure on him right here. Boom. Jacob Shake gets the guy right in the chin. Just perfect football right there. We come out to one. We come close to get it. Don't get it, but he shanks it. Gamble catches. So we get the ball right back on the 20. We just fumbled on the 1. Great defense stop. Now we get the ball back on the 20, so everything's looking good. There's Gamble running inside zone. Everybody's blocking. Picture perfect right there. And then there's Ty on the quarterback sneak. One thing I've noticed about Ty the last 2 years is when we run quarterback sneaks, he usually gets it, whether it's a first down or a touchdown. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen as far as getting that 1 yard on the sneak. But back out there on defense right here, playing good. We know they're going to pass right here. We give them a big cushion because they got to get about 15 yards. They get the catch, but they don't get the first down. exchanged some punts right here. We're back on offense. There's Gamble. You know, like I said earlier, the offensive line was coming off the ball. There we are right there mixing it up, faking Gamble, keeping it. Look at there, just looks like there's nothing. Boom, we get 12 yards. Great job blocking, great job running. Receivers were doing some blocking down the field. Here we go with a little play action, the cookie that we've had all year long for a touchdown. That's one of my favorite plays. I guess because it's usually scores. I don't know why, but I really like that play. They're back on offense right here. They run the counter. They've been a good counter team all year long. Big lineman, good blocking back. We knew we had to stop it. We did a decent job of it. You know, we knew we could bend a little bit, just don't break. Here we are again, just moving the ball. I love it. I love to see the ball being ran down the field. You know, because you know anybody will tell you got to be able to run it, and you got to stop the run if you're gonna win. Especially getting these playoffs, the weather becomes a factor. It's cold. Fields are always a little damp. It's good. Kind of get bogged down right there, and then Bo Riley hits the field goal for us. Big play, huge play. You know, that's a commodity we didn't have last year. Here they are. Play action right here. Throw it up, and we just kind of get twisted up a little bit. Our corner just kind of gets circled up and loses sight of the ball. But anyway, we make the tackle. I throw a fade right here. Boy, Ronnie Isaac does a good job right there. Great job. Think about Ronnie from earlier in the year. And then that right there, Ronnie's gotten better and better and better. You know, and Ronnie's vertically challenged. He's about 5'6", so, and that receiver's about 6'2", so that was a great play.
And we will hear more about Ronnie Isaac coming up later on in our player spotlight. There you see the halftime score, Oxford with a 17-10 lead. And Coach, of course, I'm a defensive guy, so I always like to point out that the way that defense comes up with big plays and the way you started that game. You could have folded there right away. I mean, you go down, they go down and score on you just that quick. You come back, fumble at the goal line. Then your defense comes up with the big stop.
Well, you know, we've preached it all year long. You got to play great defense to win big games. Unless you're in the Big 12, you're not going to win games 56-55 much. So at some point, you've got to play defense. You know, that doesn't mean you got to have shutouts every week, but you've got to bow up and have some stops. And Friday night was a perfect example. They go down and score, you know, just the speed of the game, everything was different. But after that series, boom, I think we held them to 4 3-and-outs in a row. They bowed their necks. Offense started moving the ball. We fumbled on that first possession, but we come back and we score. So, you know, you had offense running right at them and scoring with a little play action. Defense hold them to 3-and-outs. And then Bo Riley comes in, kicks the field goal right there. That's offense, defense, special teams. That's what you got to have.
Yeah, and the other side of the coin, talk about the defense coming up with a big stop there early in the game. As you mentioned, the offense was able to run the ball. That's huge. Takes a lot of pressure off your offensive, your staff, your quarterback, the line, everybody.
When you know, it was a cold night, but when you're running the ball and that clock's running, those chains are moving, that's demoralizing to the other team. Anybody can say what they want to, but when somebody's running it right at you and you can't do anything about it, that's demoralizing. That changes the way you call the game defensively. You get out of whatever plan you had. Now you've got to move people around. You know, there's a lot more to it. The dynamics of calling the defense change when somebody's having their way with you. And I think Dothan kind of had to get out of whatever they wanted to do to stop us from running the ball, and then you hit play actions, you hit stuff like that.
All right, well, of course, with it being a long road trip, a lot of Oxford fans could not take off work and travel all the way down to Dothan, but one group of folks who did make the trip was the Oxford High School Marching Band. They were there. Coach Herring tells me they were playing loud and cheering loud. We want to show you some of their performance from halftime last Friday night. And welcome back to the Jacket Corner. Oxford with a 17-10 lead to start the second half. But, Coach, this would be a seesaw 2 quarters of football here.
I'm telling you, it was as a fan, I'm sure it was an unbelievable game to watch. As a coach, you know, you're on your toes every play. But right here, like that play right there, Ty Weber, heck of a run on the quarterback counter, heck of a run. Right here, we just missed field goal. I thought it went through during the game. I mean, I was cheering. Here they go. We just didn't fit it up right there. They ran the counter, a little power counter like they've been running all night. But a great job right there by Ronnie Isaac, not giving up, chasing all the way down the field. You know, Ronnie's got a heart, I'm telling you. They get in a big package right here, and they put in some big folks. They put in 200-300 pounders as their little up backs, their little half backs, and they were huge. And I mean, that was a tough package. If I was them, I would have ran that the whole game against us because we didn't match up well with that. They were so big. But anyway, you know, those kind of things happen. You got to adjust, and we end up stopping them on the last drive. They get the ball while they're in that formation. Good kickoff return right there by Gamble. You know, it's nip and tuck right now. Every play counts. Every first down is huge. And, you know, that's how it is in the playoffs. It was the same way for them it was for us. Right here, we're trying to yell at Ty, let him let the clock run out because it's about to be the end of the third quarter. And he's snapping it, but he hears us yelling, and he looks at me, so it's probably kind of my fault. Probably shouldn't have bothered him. But anyway, that hurt us on that drive. There they are, just putting it right at us. You see them pulling kids right there. They do a good job with that. They've done it all year long. The linemen are big. They pull good. But finally, we stop them right there, hold them to a field goal, which was great right there. Hold them to a field goal. That, in a way, that was a win. We get the ball back. You know, it's fourth quarter. This is last drive of the game. This is what it's all about. Senior quarterback, boom, hit Ryan Stovall right there for a little gain. Right here, fake it to Gamble. Everybody hits Gamble. Ty runs it for about 15, 20 yards. You know, I thought Ty did a great job of looking like a senior quarterback right here. We had Cookie wide open right there. Then the guy knocks it down at the end. Luckily, they called it because, you know, it didn't seem like a night where they were going to make any calls for us, but they finally made a call right there. Right here with their little comeback to Cookie. Great job, great throw, great catch. That was 3rd and 6, big play. So right now we got less than a minute. Quarterback sneak, touchdown. And you know, it didn't look like they wanted to call it. He was 2 yards in the end zone, but the guy that was right in front of him, he kind of didn't want to throw his hands up. We go for 2 right here to make it a 6-point game. Play we've been working on all year for a 2-point play. Works perfect. I mean, you couldn't feel better about the work you put into stuff and then what happens in the game. Just very happy. And the kids just did an unbelievable job right here. Went a little prevent defense. I don't like to play prevent much, but we put Gamble in there as a deep safety, played everybody off, and did a great job. Knocked the ball down. Got a 25-19 win on the road.
And there's that victory formation, and there you see the final score. Oxford wins a first-round playoff game at Dothan by a final score of 25-19. One of the best first-round games in the entire state. Just a great high school football game. Almost one of those games you hate to see someone lose, but we're glad Oxford won. Earns you a berth into the second round against a very good McAdoo team, which we'll talk a good bit about here in just a few moments. Anyway, let's wrap up this game. The thing that stands out to me about that score, you held them almost 10 points below their scoring average because they were scoring about 28 points a game.
You know, it's like I said earlier, you look at our defense game 2. You look at our defense game 11. Our defensive players have improved. We've worked them. You know, they've been coachable. We're not the biggest team, you know, by any means. We're not the fastest team. But when you're coachable, you'll get better, you know, when you do what you're taught. And that's the kind of attitude they've had. They've been coachable. We've got guys who are still getting better right now. At practice yesterday, we had a kid that, you know, I just said, I can tell right now you're so much better than you were last week. You know, it's never too late to improve. And, you know, we got to do the same thing this week. We got to improve this week. You know, if we want to win this game, we got to play a little better this week. So, you know, I'm proud of the defense.
Well, I have an idea for you, Coach. I'm sure the kids will go along with this. Why don't you check out of school this Friday about 10:30? You know, go eat some lunch, go to Golden Corral over here at the Oxford Exchange at 3.
That's not a bad idea at all. I like that.
I got a feeling someone won't go for that, though. Let's take a look at our individual player awards from last Friday night's game. And here we go.
Air Jack this week, Jacob Cook had that big touchdown catch, had 2 catches on comeback routes that were huge. Racehorse, Darren Gamble, ran like a true horse Friday night. Highest grade defense line, Jermaine Taylor, played great technique. Highest grade O-line, Trevor Owens. I think this might be 2 weeks in a row. Real proud of Trevor. Game breaker, Ty Weber, getting it in there on those sneaks, around the quarterback counters and some keeps a couple times. Had some good throws. Just was a true leader Friday night. Most hits, Tommy Rudolph. This 2 weeks in a row, Tommy's had over 10 tackles, and that's what you need. You know, we've got him. He's freed up most of the night always, so he's got to make those tackles. Meanest jacket to Darren Gamble. Just, you know, you couldn't hear it on TV, but on the field, he ran through about 2 or 3 linebackers, and I think 2 times they had to leave the game. You know, he kind of rung their bell for them. Hammer Ward, KJ Adams. KJ did a great job, senior linebacker. Special teams, Keaton Borelli had some good kickoffs. Also had that 1 field goal. Keaton's done a great job for us all year. Been a just great surprise for us.
All right, congratulations to all those young men for being recognized for the big win over Dothan. Well, in those highlights, Coach, we saw a young defensive back, a young man by the name of Ronnie Isaacs, making some big plays in the game. When we come back, he'll be the focus in our player spotlight, and we'll talk about the big matchup with McAdory coming up this Friday night. Stay with us.
Looking, firing. Has his man, doesn't have his first down.
And welcome back here in the Jacket Corner. Time now for our Player Spotlight feature. You know, the saying goes that dynamite sometimes comes in small packages. That saying could apply here to this week's Player Spotlight, which falls on Ronnie Isaac, a junior defensive back. Here's TV24's Chase Robinson.
Ronnie Isaacs, a key member of the Oxford football team, only a junior and in his first year of playing varsity football. And head coach Ryan Herring says that Ronnie has all the attributes that you want in a football player.
Ronnie's done a great job for us all year. Ronnie shows up every day with a good work ethic, work attitude. He's coachable, which, you know, those are some of the main things that we look for in kids. You know, he's a tough kid. He's athletic. He's strong. So, you know, he's got all the qualities of a good football player.
It's my first year for varsity, so it's something new, but I quickly, you know, came to realize what I had to do.
Ronnie starts on the field at cornerback, a position where you have to be physical and tough. But Ronnie says first things first, you have to be coachable.
It's a lot of hard work. Got to be coachable. You got to deal with the yelling. You got to deal with the aggressiveness. You just got to be able to do what you got to do and help the team out.
For the Jacket Corner, I'm Chase Robinson.
It's almost like Ronnie knew we were going to focus on him this week. He goes out there and makes all those plays in these highlights. But amazing story, you know, kid who hasn't played football comes out, and you were telling me while we were watching that feature how much he's improved just during the season.
And that's about being coachable, and we stress that every week. Just be coachable, be coachable. We're trying to help you. We're not degrading you. It's not negative, you know, criticism. It's all about coaching and being coached, and he's done that. And he's been coached hard. You know, he's just absorbed it, and you don't always like being corrected. You know, I don't, you don't, nobody just likes it, but you've got to be, to get better and improve, you have to be. And he's done it all year. You know, you look at him in some earlier games this year, people threw the fade, and it was just an easy touchdown. That kid Friday night was about 6'2", 6'3", and Ronnie goes up, bats the ball down. You know, you always can improve, and he's done a great job of that. And he works hard. He gives he's ran down kids this year that were, it was definitely a touchdown. He's saved, has some touchdown saving tackles, which is effort and heart. And that's something you can't judge. You can judge the height and the weight and the 40 and all that, but you can't judge the heart, and he's got a heart.
And that play in the end zone you're talking about on that fade where he gets his head turned around, I know no matter what college football team you cheer for, I hear fans every week, I wish our defensive back would turn their head around. How many times do you see a defensive back just keep his back to the ball, get the hands up, and interfere? Just a great play.
Great play. You know, I've seen him in practice. I've seen the ball hit him on top of the head. And now he's batting it down. It's you know, people who had never played, especially the defense back, don't understand, but that's remarkable. Him to make that play Friday night was remarkable, and I'm just proud of him.
Really a game-saving play. A
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of game-saving plays in that game. Well, time to look ahead to this week's game. Another big one. Look, in the playoffs, it doesn't get any easier, and that's the case this week. McAdory is coming into Lamar Field. They're undefeated. They're the region champs from 6A Region 4 from outside the Birmingham area over in Bessemer. 7 o'clock kickoff for the second round of the playoffs. Coach, you know, McAdory is an interesting story. Of course, Oxford folks are aware of McAdory. Oxford actually played a home-and-home in McAdory back when I was in school, back in the early 80s. Haven't played since. Bo Jackson was on the team at that time. That's what McAdory High School is known for. But this year, they're known for a very good football team, obviously with that 11-0 record.
Well, they've got a coach over David Powell. When I started coaching in Alabama in 2006, that was kind of a region rival for us. When I was at Shelby County, he was at McAdory, and they won the region both years. He has his teams, they play tough. They run and hit you. They are a blue-collar football team, and they've got kids who can naturally run, and of course, they do a great job of getting those kids to run to the ball. Every year when you play McAdory, you're going to get hit, and they're fun to watch. That's what I like about them. They will hit you on defense. Offensively this year, they have a quarterback who is just a superb athlete. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback who can run like him. I think against Hillcrest game 5, they flush him out of the pocket. They're in their own end zone, and he scrambles around and runs for a 105-yard touchdown. I've never seen a quarterback do that before. And they have a good running back, number 3, to complement him. He's extremely fast. So it's going to be a good matchup for us. It's going to be a fun game. I'm glad we got him at home. It'll be tough, but I think it'll be a real physical game.
They beat Blunt last week 21-20, and which saved you from having to go all the way to Mobile. But you still have to play a very good McAdory team, but at least you're at home. Talk about what you've seen on film from those guys.
Well, you can tell they have no quit in them. They were down to Blunt and in the fourth quarter, and nothing changed. They strip a ball, take it away from the guy for Blunt, run in for a touchdown. That kind of gets them back in the game. Then a punt gets shanked or tipped. You really can't tell on film. We thought it was blocked at first, but McAdory actually didn't block it. I think it just hit off one of somebody's shoulder, and McAdory picks it up and runs in for a touchdown to get the win. So they know how to win. And if you're 11-0, you got to know how to win. I don't care who you're playing. When you're undefeated, you know how to win, and you expect to win. So I expect it to be a real good game, and I hope we have a good turnout.
Yep, need a big crowd on Friday night with the win last week. You get another home game for the kids at Oxford, especially those seniors and the fans, obviously, around the Oxford community. Come out and support those Yellow Jackets in round 2 of the playoffs. We'll be with you again next week for all the highlights of Oxford and McAdory. We'll see you then in the Jacket Corner.
The Dothan Tigers. Here come the Yellow.